Welcome back to the channel. This video might be a little bit spicy today because today we are picking a beef with self-help and personal development. And that is because I truly believe that self-help, personal development, self-improvement, whatever you want to call it, has actually held me back both in my life, but also specifically with my horses. Now, I want to give you just a bit of context as we go into this. I have been a self-help junkie for a very long time. Back in the day, my dad had a box set of cassettes, if y'all remember what those are. It was Anthony Robbins. He went by Anthony back then. Now I think he goes by Tony. Anthony Robbins, I think it was called Personal Power 2, if I'm not mistaken. I listened to those cassette tapes. It came with a coiled notebook that I completely filled out. So I was introduced to that, I want to say at 14, I started listening to that. And since then, I have been both feet into the self-help genre. I read so many books in that genre. I've listened to the podcast. I've watched the YouTube videos. I've set the goals, I've made the plan, I've done the visualizations, I've done it all. And yet, I wasn't actually moving forward. And this pattern became apparent to me maybe 3 years ago. I would set goals and I wouldn't achieve them. I would look back at my journal entries from a year or two ago and it sounded like something I would have written yesterday, like I was in the exact same spot. And I was becoming very, very, very frustrated with my lack of apparent progress. It didn't make sense, right? Like I'm reading these books, I'm investing in myself and wanting to improve, and yet I'm not making any headway at all. It just didn't make sense to me. I couldn't figure it out. I literally spent multiple years trying to figure out, like, what am I getting wrong here? This does not make sense. But I've come into 2026 with the full intent of leaving self-help behind. I've made the resolution to not read a single self-help book in 2026. I've unfollowed various podcasts. I've stopped watching the YouTube videos of some of the typical like productivity, self-help channels. Like I've left it all behind because it became very apparent to me that the self-help that was saying it was going to help me wasn't helping at all. Self-help makes you feel productive, and that was totally me. Like I felt like I was being very busy. I didn't have any extra time, any downtime that I had. I was reading some sort of personal development book, or when I'm on my walks, listening to a self-help podcast of some sort. It made me feel very, very productive. You're reading, you're highlighting, you're journaling, you're making vision boards, you're writing down goals. Like you're doing all of these things. And it feels like work. It feels like you're doing something. It's like, look at me. I'm doing something that is going to improve my life. Like, how exciting. But none of that is actual execution. It's very easy to spend years preparing for the life you want and never actually living it. It is easy to spend years preparing for the year that you want or the life that you want to live and never actually living it. That statement gives me chills because that gets to the heart of what I feel like I've been experiencing for several years at this point. I feel like I'm in this purgatory of self-help preparation, and I never actually get to go out there and do the thing. So let's bring this back to horses. I've definitely seen this with Diesel. I bought Diesel in 2022 as a 3-year-old, and during that year, we did the dang thing. We went to the horse shows. We went to so many horse shows. We won so many ribbons. I'm gonna brag about that. We won a ton of ribbons. We went to the clinics. Like, we did all the things. I had an awesome first year with Diesel, and I look back on those pictures, I could literally cry because it was like, I got this horse And I went out, I executed, I did what I said I was going to do. And then something shifted. Instead of doing, I don't know if I started consuming more training philosophies, more podcasts, more opinions. It's like that vicious circle of being productive but not actually doing anything was now happening in my horse life. Every time I ran into resistance or uncertainty, instead of getting out there and working through it, I feel like I recoiled and I would watch a YouTube video or just, I don't know. And like I had a trainer who was more than willing to kind of take me under his wing a little bit, give me lessons on a recurring basis. I had it all scheduled and I canceled it. And I feel like I would drum up these cool plans of what I was going to do with Diesel, and then I wouldn't do it. I would say I would say I was giving myself grace, or just, I don't know. But either way, progress stalled. And so this is the self-help loop as I've come to know it. So you feel stuck, you consume more content, and in this day and age, consuming content could take so many forms. You feel super motivated, you make a plan, you don't execute, and then you feel stuck again. Let's just say, like last year, in 2025, I had the goal to complete an entire groundwork program with Diesel. So I was feeling stuck with him on the riding side of things. And so I was consuming content in the form of Clinton Anderson. I was like, let's do Clinton Anderson's groundwork program. And I was super excited about it. You know, I would talk about getting him through this program, and by the end of it, he's going to be this super cool horse on the ground, just like Mindy or Diaz, which if you're not familiar, those are Clinton's horses, or used to be. I was super motivated to think that he could be like one of those clinician horses that's just super cool and can do all the fun things. And I would have a plan, like literally would print out, like, these are the exercises we're going to go through, systematically teaching Diesel all these things. I wouldn't execute. And then like if I would do my goal reflection at the end of the year, didn't do it, and I feel stuck again. And it's just this vicious cycle. And that was the self-help too, right? Like you feel stuck, you pick up some sort of self-help book, you get really excited about it because, like, especially like the first couple chapters of a self-help book, they get you really, really motivated that this is the book that is going to change your life. You're going to be rich, you're going to be famous, you're going to be beautiful, like all the things, right? They make so many promises. You get so excited. They get you to draw up some sort of a plan. You don't execute on it. You may not even finish the book, and then you just end up feeling stuck again, and then you reach out for the next thing. It is this endless loop. Self-help gives you just enough dopamine to feel like you're moving forward without actually requiring you to do the hard thing of actually taking action on something. And I think the more of that kind of content you consume, the more you feel like not well equipped to trust yourself. Like you feel like you need to rely on these experts. You need the assistance of someone's framework or book or course to guide you through life. You lose all trust in yourself. And I will just say, I'm so glad that I've identified this trend, because like I said, it's something that I identified the pattern several years ago at this point. I just didn't know how to fix it. And I would come to, say, the end of the year where I'm doing my yearly goal reflection, and it's like, why am I still stuck? And now I know why, because I'm stuck in this self-help loop. Again, both in my life and with my horses. Another problem with self-help, and especially if we're translating it to horses, is that it is constantly trying to get you to optimize. There's always a better morning routine, a better mindset, a better system, a better trainer, a better philosophy. In the world we live in now, it is so great that we have so many resources at our fingertips, but it's overwhelming because you think like, okay, let's go with Clinton Anderson. is there, like, you maybe invest in the program, but then you question, like, should I have done so-and-so's program instead? Like, is this the best fit for me? Some people don't like Clinton Anderson. Some people love him. Like, so much noise. And the problem with that is that, yeah, you might invest in something, but then you somehow, like, the voices in your head are like, there's something better. So then you go off in this direction and you abandon what you first invested in and go to something else. And the trouble with that is that you never actually finish anything, never stick with something long enough to see it through to get the results that you're looking for. And with horses, of course, this is especially an issue because one, this whole idea of optimizing, I feel like another word for that is perfecting. And if we know anything about horses, it's that nothing is perfect. Something always goes wrong or just goes a different direction. Like, there's no optimizing with horses. And on top of that, horses thrive on consistency. So if you're starting with Clinton Anderson's program, Clinton has a certain way of giving cues to a horse and what we're training a horse. If you're switching to an entirely different program, that person might be doing the same, like getting the same result, but how they're getting there is very differently. Maybe how they're communicating to the horse. If you're switching programs like that and trying the different methodologies, that is going to be very, very confusing for your horse. And the last thing that horses need is confusion. They thrive on consistency. Well, you don't need 10 frameworks. I think a lot of people say, like, if I can take something from everyone, that's good. I am of the opinion you need to pick one framework and stick with it. That is what works when it comes to horses. I'm not saying that learning is bad or taking advice from different people is a bad thing. I'm just saying that there's a point where input, what you're consuming in terms of videos, podcasts, books, we're just consuming becomes avoidance. Looking back now, I feel like I used self-help as a way to stay safe, maybe, without consciously realizing it. I was safe from failure. Like, if I'm not executing, I can't fail because I'm not doing anything. Again, I'm safe from just not having to do the thing. I can be very comfortable in my little box. I can be safe from being judged. And the same thing with my horses. Like, if I don't go and take lessons from that trainer who was willing to teach me, like, I don't have to worry about what that's gonna look like, how it's gonna fit into my schedule. But at the end of the day, I've realized that growth doesn't come from just consuming more. Like, yes, it's helpful to learn, but there's a point where you just need to get out there and, as the old 4-H motto goes, learn to do by doing. It comes from choosing a direction and staying with it long enough to get some results, get some data, and then at that point we can consider whether we need a change of direction. At the end of the day, part of this is me. I don't want to be the person who knows really, really well what to do in theory. Like, I don't want to have all of the riding theory or all of the horsemanship theory in my head and know it so well. Like, if I wrote a written exam, I would pass with flying colors. I do not want to be that person. I want to be the person out there doing the thing, executing, like, living life. And my husband is my greatest example for this. He decided almost 6 years ago at this point that he wanted to be a pilot and get his private pilot's license. And you know what? He decided it. He found the course, did it. He has his license. He's working on building on that license by getting additional ratings. Like, he set his mind to it, found out how to do it, and went and did the thing. I admire that so much, and I want that to be me as well. So what does that mean for me? As I said, as part of like a resolution for 2026, I said no more to self-help. Specifically, no more self-help books, no more self-help podcasts, fewer opinions, and more time actually working with my horses, making decisions, doing the thing, and taking responsibility for whether or not I'm getting the results that I want. Honestly, I've been around horses long enough at this point to know the specific things I need to do to achieve the goals that I want to achieve with my horse. No more waiting, no more reading, just going and getting the thing done. And so, before my camera overheats, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please be sure to follow me everywhere at Strong in the Saddle. And until next time, remember, it's always a good day to ride.